Hey guys, welcome back to the Land of the Pharaohs. I'm Sajuuk, and we're going to do a bit of a choice mission here for the end of the New Kingdom. Now, if you want to see the peaceful option pathway, which will be down Baki and Kuban, a golden age, you can click the card on the screen to go straight down that pathway, because in this part, we're going to be going into Byblos and invading Palestine. So as I say, if you want to do the peaceful pathway, you don't want the militaristic pathway, click the card on the screen and you'll be able to go to Baki. But on this part, we're going to be invading Palestine at Byblos. Now, of course, Byblos has been around for a long time in the campaign, so I wonder what we'll find out when we invade Palestine.
Egypt has emerged from its recent troubles with a newfound strength. Byblos, with all its verdant forests and rich sources of copper, is ours. With your presence, the city is sure to thrive, and a new kingdom will be established. Ah, but what an alarming discovery we made after conquering Byblos. A new ferocious people, the Hittites, have washed over much of Asia, and some even say their empire rivals our own for size. Now they have turned their eyes toward Byblos, covetous of its riches. If we are not well prepared for their attack, we could easily lose Byblos to our foe. While preparing to meet the Hittites, we must mark Byblos as forever Egyptian. With your blessing, O Pharaoh, we shall erect a series of 3 obelisks, 2 small, 1 large, proclaiming your sovereignty and fame throughout the far stretches of your empire. These towering monuments will remind the residents of Byblos with whom their loyalties should lie. While we occupy ourselves with matters at Byblos, other regions of Egypt are still prone to attack. Nubians have moved north as far as the First Cataract, and we must help our compatriots drive them back. Reports from Roarti tell of another mysterious new foe, the Sea People. Both these enemies must be strongly put down if Egypt is to attain glory. To show your might, be sure to send troops and warships should they be requested.
We'll send some troops to our distant cities, don't worry. We're here on Byblos. Expansion and conquest. Population 6,000. Prosperity 40, not very high for a military mission. Kingdom 75, culture 60. We have to build some obelisks. Of course, Byblos is an old city, as I mentioned, so we're probably going to find a city already here. But it looks as if we're going to have large attacks from the Hittites, who are actually the weakest enemy of the top 3 that I consider as the most powerful. So you've got the Hyksos, the Sea People, and then the Hittites. So the Hittites are the weakest enemy that we face, but it's still going to be difficult. We're going to be continuing on hard mode. And yeah, let's head to the city. Slow time down and pause. And as you can see, we have a bit of a settlement already here. Looks as if fishing is happening here. Bit of an arid climate, of course. We're on the edge of the Mediterranean. Looks as if we're already trading with someone. We'll have a look at that at the moment. No meadowland whatsoever, so we can only build fishing wharves. So there's no other food buildings, just fishing. Let's have a look over here. There's actually infinite wood. I mean, look at all these trees. There's also lots of ore-bearing rock. Looks as if wood, gold, and copper are our raw materials. And it looks as if we've got a bit of a military force already building. We are going to have to start quickly. Now, look at the starting funds. On hard mode, we start with 22,500 demons. There is a reason for that, and we're going to have a look at that in a minute. Looks as if we are already I'm going to probably end up destroying a lot of this because it's just a mess. And let's just have a look at the gods. Ptah, Seth, Bas, and Osiris, obviously. But we do have a military god and a big city god, which is going to be useful. Let's have a look. Who's the patron? Apparently Bas is the patron, even though this is a military mission. This is about importing grain. Let's just stop that because that's just a waste. We don't need that. So let's have a look up here at Byblos, our city. Looks as if a lot of trade routes are not open. Let's have a look at Abu. They sell as grain, not needed. Neither is straw, flax, or any of these resources needed right now, except for granite. But they do seem to buy clay, pottery, reeds, and papyrus. Now, we can't produce any clay or reeds here, so we have no exports. Oh dear. So we start with 22,500 with absolutely no way to make money apart from gold mines. Now, I'm not going to go into this mission trying to win it without exports. If you want to see a no export playthrough of this map, it's very hard to go and check out GamersAx's video because it's done without any exports, it's just gold mines. But we are going to have to pretty much set up gold mines that is our only income source. We do not have a way of making money. I mean, we can import a load of raw materials like flax, gems, and straw, but we can't make anything from it because we don't have the associated export for it. I mean, we can import jewellery, or gems and flax to make the associated things here, but there's no other trade routes open, so there is no point in that. It is a complete waste. So this is going to be one heck of a mission, and it looks as if a lot of this area is arid, which doesn't actually help. It means we are going to have to do line housing on this one out here. I will do a bit of a 9x9 down here and then a load of line houses elsewhere. We are also going to need some manors, I think, not for prosperity this time, but simply because 6,000 people without, pardon me, 6,000 people without any work camps or very many large buildings means we are going to need something to sap up unemployment. Lots of coastline though, so we can pretty much build wherever we... excuse me, pardon me folks. We can set up pretty much everything we need. We're not going to have trouble with that. So yeah, let's go and set up a bit of a housing area, and I'll come back in once we're ready to start Byblos. Okay, so we have spent lots of money, about 10,000 setting up everything. Now what I've done is I made sure to put these houses in first so that the first immigrants to enter, which are these ones, will go up here and get all of this online. Now there is a little extreme amounts of this. That's fine. We are short so many workers, but that's okay. We've got like 700 people willing to come in, which will cover up most of this. Of course, until some of these come online, and so be it. We are going to have to get into the military very quickly. I do know that in about a year and a half from now, we're going to get a large attack from Hittites. Now, we want to try and fight them near towers, which we're going to have to get money for. But since we've got gold mines, we shouldn't have a problem, because once this gets online, even with one worker, as I've said before, it won't matter. Down here I've set up a 9x9 housing block, and this little bit of a housing area here I've just put some extra houses. I will delete this later, don't worry. And in fact we can just get rid of the bazaar. Now we are importing granite, which we'll continue to do. Up here we don't have a physician, so let's just put down one. We could also just put down a police station. I will shift some of this stuff around, might even delete some extra houses that we don't need as time passes. But for now, we just need to focus on getting people into the city, and then we can focus on the other things. I've just noticed we have not put down these things, which we need to do. There. Now there was some apothecaries built in some of the areas here, but we have deleted that and that's fine now. Let's just put in the house there. So what we're going to do is we're going to just stockpile on the food for now, because we've not got really any use for it and we don't have the employment for that. What we need to do is focus on getting our military running as fast as we can. In fact, I'm going to delete that recruiter and move it somewhere else. I'm going to put it over here somewhere, I think, but I'll sort that later. So yeah, we've got everything set up. We just need to get people into the city, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens, because for the first year I don't think too much happens. It's just really a case of getting our stuff going. I'll probably come back in once we've got our first gold getting mined. Okay, so people are continuing to move in. It's going well. I'm just sort of doing priority juggling here, just to make sure everything works. So you can see here I've got infrastructure on 1, military on 2, the religious on number 3, just because the gods were getting a little upset, which they're not going to be now. Industry and commerce is on number 4 with health and sanitation last priority. I want to make sure that government comes online at the last minute when we actually need it. For now, these can just sort of idle about. As soon as this gets one worker, it's fine. We've got a charioteer, a chariot maker working. We're getting lots of wood as well, which is what we want to see as well. We just see so much happening at once. It's actually quite crazy. We're going to actually just put down another wood workshop. So that's getting there. Now I've got this going round in a loop, which should be fine. Now that I've got one chariot being made, we can now actually start to put out chariots, which is going to be very important. So there you go, industry's there, so now the health and sanitation is starting to build up, and then the government will then come online as well. So it's going well. In fact, let's just set you to number 3, you to number 4, and let religion take most of the hit for now. That's fine, because the gods are coming back online, which is fine. So there we go, we've got one charioteer rather. That's the first, actually no, we made some in Salty, I forgot, sorry. So start to produce chariots, we're getting people in. At this point it's a bit of a juggling of these priorities just to make sure we get enough workers to make sure that the things run effectively. But time's ticking on, we don't have much of a military, and we really need to get that running quickly. So I'm going to come back in if anything of interest happens. I might actually start to try to set up towers as well. Okay, so 1 year from starting the mission, we are getting told that because of their dreams of empire, a Hittite army will reach the city in 6 months. We have to be prepared for their arrival. We are. We have, what's this, 10 chariots already. It looks as if the production priority is for chariots, so we're not going to get any more archers until this fills up. Now we have 3 chariot makers producing far more than enough chariots every so often. And as long as they keep that up, it's fine. I mean, this one's hanging around waiting. So we've got, what's that, 11? I am going to have to set up a lot of towers. Now, we do have... we actually can't get any more people. We have about 1,600, but we do it in the city. But we don't have enough to keep the city going. So what we are going to do is start to work on feeding this little 9x9. I will clear this off and replace it with some housing over here instead. But for now, this can just be temporary. There we go, we're starting to get some fish. So that's going to be useful. For now I'm just going to put down housing there. How much are we making in tax? Nothing, which is okay. But it's tax money, that's all that matters. I don't think I'll keep this around for too long, but they'll start to feed the people and evolve them a bit. Here's a house that has glitched out apparently, so we're just going to delete that and replace it with an actual house, like so. Not a crude hut pretending to be, not a sturdy hut pretending to be a crude hut, that's not right. So we'll start to feed this little block here, and then, yeah, we'll have to get more people in and start to set up some towers. So I'll come back in once we're near that invasion, unless something happens. Well, we've still got an invasion oncoming, but Knossos is asking for 1,700 planks of wood in 9 months. Now, it's a good thing I set up a large wood industry straight away. I did know this request was going to come in. This is actually a request you only get one chance to fulfill. If you don't fulfill this within the 9 months, you cannot open Knossos as a trade route. It just gives you pottery, which we don't need right now, but that's okay. Looks as if we'll be able to fill out 2 full forts quite quickly, but I do know that the Hittites are pretty strong. Now, we might actually be able to get another fort down very quickly. We might be able to train some of them, which I might do. But yeah, we fulfilled that early request from Knossos, and now we just have to wait for that invasion to come through. Oh, would you look at that? Because you have sent 1,700 planks of wood to Knossos as they requested, a new trade route can now be opened there. And there's the Hittites attacking. So here's Knossos on the island of Crete. They sell us fish, pottery, and olive oil as a luxury good. We can already produce fish. Now, I've mentioned this before. If you import a food that you can also grow, you can use storage yards to distribute food, but only if that food type is, of course, available in the city. So in this case, we do have fish, so I could do that little trick here. We could get plenty of pottery from there, but we're not going to do that right now, because apart from that, we have no income source, so that'd be a drain. 900 DBs for water trade. We don't need that right now. Now what I'm doing is I'm setting up some towers along here, because we are going to absolutely need these towers. If we don't have towers, we are screwed basically. So let's just extend this a little bit. I'm going to cut the road just there, and then put a tower just on the end, like so. Now you should all be able to get down here to this. Now hopefully this doesn't stuff up this, because if it stuffs up this, we're not going to get very many charioteers, but it will take a while to get staffed, but we'll see. I'll keep an eye on that. What was that? Employees needed, that's okay. Because we do have our priorities, which means food and production will take the hit, which I want. We spent a lot of money actually, but that's okay. We've got plenty of gold mines here. And the chariot makers are just producing at top-notch speed now. We've got, what's that, 2 charioteers now. So about the time that the charioteer gets from going from here to about there is when this spawns another one. So that's quite a bit of time, but that's okay. So we have all of the towers we're going to need. Hopefully I can get through this invasion. We'll just clean up that road. And yeah, we're starting to feed some people here, which is going to be good. We'll start to stockpile on the food. And we're not going to evolve this block. This will be removed later. Probably with another straight line right here, but we'll think about that later. So yeah, we're just going to wait for that invasion to come on through. Okay, so that Hittite army is going to be here in 1 month bent on conquest, and we have basically only a small amount of military. And because our trade route to Northlands has become available, we've become more popular. So if we just fulfill these requests, we don't have to do much with the kingdom rating, which is going to be good. So we've only got 1 full fort of charioteers and mostly a full company of archers and a couple of extra soldiers in the second charioteer company. Unfortunately, this recruiter has decided it just wants to send out sentries, but I suppose sending out sentries is better than nothing, because we're going to have to fight near these towers to have any hope of survival against the Hittites. So they are still probably going to destroy a lot, but if we can avoid too much damage, we should be fine. So I'm not sure why these guys want to go up there. They should be going over to these trees instead, which I would rather prefer. So there's 2 sentries out, yet the guy's sending out sentries, which is unfortunate. But that's okay. I'd rather they sent out sentries because we can at least fight with them. And yeah. I'm not sure if you're going to produce any more chariots, but we'll see. I might be able to use these 2 just to sort of lure the enemy down here, I suppose. I don't know where they're going to come from. I think they come from mostly the north. I suppose that's sort of expected. I don't expect them to come from down here when this is sort of like Egypt's side down here, but we'll see. These houses will evolve, just not very well, but that's okay. They're evolving. We can sort out their desirability problems later. So we're training up sentries, which I would rather prefer. So yeah, we're just going to wait for the invasion to come through and hope that we can defeat it. We have done the best we can, really. There's 3 towers. Hopefully we can get a 4th by the time the invasion comes here. I hope. Here's that Hittite army. Let's try to get through it. Okay, I think we did quite well in that battle. We didn't lose too many. And we fought near the towers and just sort of flanked around them a bit. So we didn't do too bad, we didn't take too many losses. Of course, we lost the entire archers fort, which is totally fine. They're all running off, which is fine because we fought them near the towers, which helped significantly with reducing losses. By fighting near the towers, we didn't take too many losses on the charioteer company that was fully evolved. So we're fine. We can just, yeah, get on with the mission. So we've gone through that first invasion. It was tough. It required basically a lot of micromanagement. I had to allow the archers to die, which is fine. We're just going to delete that fort. We don't need it anymore. So, yeah. We're just going to go all out on chariots, start to rebuild our forces. Our towers did the job of holding the lines, and they're running off, which is fine. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going, rebuild our forces, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. I think I'll also work on trying to just evolve the city a bit, and get some more unemployment so it allows us to put down maybe another chariot maker. I don't think I'm going to need too much more though. Okay, so it's been a little while since that battle. I think it's about a year? Actually, more than a year, sorry. So allow your soldiers, for the Egyptian army is engaged in combat in the distant city of Kadesh. It requires you to dispatch reinforcements there. Send troops to their aid in 10 months. Let's have a look at that. A small force. Now, we have more than enough troops, but I'm going to wait a while. I want to try and build up this third charioteer company to at least a bit more, so then I can minimise any lost time rebuilding anything here. So we'll wait off on that a little bit. Now, I have put down a couple of copper mines. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but we have put down a couple of copper mines, which we're going to use to stockpile copper. Let's actually put that here. We can just stockpile copper right there for now. Down here, we're also starting to feed a second line, one of the lines of housing. We've also gone ahead and put down a third line of housing. So we're going to be quite nice there. In terms of shrines, I'm probably just going to do a little shrine wall along this bit, because I have put down a firehouse and architect's post for later when we start to colonise this little area for entertainment and things like that. Down here we're also going to have a couple of warships, 5 warships I think, no actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, so we can't get any in there, so let's just do that. I think that'll work. I should just make that an intersection. I know it's not really the right idea, but I don't care. This road is small enough that they should always pass it, so it's okay. So we are being asked to send some troops. We do actually have the opportunity right now to build one of the obelisks. I might go and do that, and so then it's done with, then we don't have to worry about it, and then we can import more granite. So I'll send off the troops when I'm ready, and I'll come back in once they have succeeded, because 2 charioteer companies is more than enough to deal with a small battle. Oh, well, would you look at that? Our troops have helped win the day at Kadesh, and we have conquered Kadesh, so we're starting to break new ground, which is going to be good. We're going to maybe get a new trade partner. At this point, we are putting down some entertainment to get these houses up. This block's all nicely fed as well. I'll probably provide them with entertainment as I need it. We have 10% unemployment, so we don't need to evolve the housing anymore. And over here, I've got rid of the water supply that was here, and just cleaned this up, because what we're going to have, if we just count 1, 2, 3, we're going to have a road there. And this is going to go around in a complete loop, like so. Just delete that tree. We don't need too many trees over here because the only route that this guy's going to get is just to support these warships, rather. So we're going to have a loop here. This is going to be basically our trade hub, so all the trade boats have to come to this dock and they'll be fine. Heroes return. Let's see what was the depletion rate. So 4 across, that's not too bad. Maybe more, I'm not too sure. Actually, let's check. Yeah, just 4. So we're fine. We've got 4 full forts. They should all nicely regenerate. And if I get more time, I will put down a 5th charioteer company. And hopefully we'll be able to do fine. So yeah, we've conquered a foreign city. We're going to possibly get a new trade partner there. And I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. At this point, we're just running the city on quite nicely. We're making enough money to stay out indefinitely. Oh, would you look at that? The foreign city of Kadesh has been subjugated by our troops. Now, the city of Kadesh requests that you send 800 buckets of fish in 9 months. We do have that. Now, I should point out that the amount of fish you have to send is pretty random. It's within, I think, about 800 to 2,400. So we'll send that off later when we've got a bit more of a stockpile. And I also know that sending off that stuff to Kadesh will also open up a trade route, but it'll also trigger another Hittite attack. So I want to put that off. And what's happened here? Fishing boats caught fire for no reason. Please put that out. Oh, well, this guy's just completely ignoring everything. How very helpful. In fact, what I'm going to do is just delete this road right here. And we're just going to put in another firehouse just at the end there. Please put that fire out, thanks. Be much appreciated if you could put that one out too. Thank you. Whoever you are, thank you for putting that fire out. So we'll send off the fish, and I'll come back in if sending off the fish has any effect on our city. Oh, would you look at that? The buckets of fish that we sent to Kadesh has opened up a trade route there. Let's have a look at Kadesh. So, new trade route. They sell ivory, which we don't really need right now. They sell wood, which we don't need because we have like infinite wood. They also sell copper, which again we don't need because we have copper. But they do buy linen. Now, one thing to note is that import-export is a good thing on this map. We can import plenty of flax from Abu and start to sell linen. So we're going to do that. It's going to be a good profiteering area. And I have set that area up over here, which we're going to do right now. Let's just see if we can get a well to evolve all this housing. Nah, we're just going to leave them like that. So we're going to start to import the flax. In fact, I can't put that there. Let's just put that here. And start to import flax. Because we're going to be able to... Excuse me. We're going to be able to start making some linen off of that. Let's just do a small number. We don't need a huge number of weavers right now. We'll put the linen there and start to make it. It's also going to help with our unemployment. It is a bit high. Well, it was high for a while, but it just seemed to have been dropping now that we set that up, which is going to be good. I suppose instead of evolving more housing, we will just put in another bazaar and feed more people. Now, I could import pottery, but we don't really have the funds to support that just yet. So for now, we're just going to import the flax and start to make linen, which is going to give us our first real export, so we're not really relying on gold mining for everything. We make about 10,000 in gold mining, but I want to really try and transition from that. As you can see, we've got 4 full charioteer companies and half of another one, so we should be able to get through this quite nicely. Maybe we'll have 5 full companies of charioteers rather, before any more invasions come from. So there we go, we've broken new ground, and we're starting to open up additional trade routes, so I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. Okay, not long after being told that Kadesh is opened, we've got a Hittite army approaching in 2 months. That's not a lot of time, and I hope it's not too big. Now, given that this is the military pathway, I suspect we're going to have a pretty big invasion. We are starting to need some employees, which is good because we're now starting to expand our city. So I think we should be able to get 5 full charioteer companies. I'm not too sure. It is going to be quite dicey, but I'm going to go and find out where they come from first of all. And I'll come back in once we're ready to fight off the Hittites. Okay, so here's that invasion in 1 month. Now I do know where they come from. I did check. They come from over here. So I have put down a couple of towers there, but we are going to have to try and lead the forces over to these towers. So let's just move everyone into position. Well, the kind of position I would like them to be in. Let's just get them over there. We're going to have 2 there. We're going to have 2 over here. And we're going to try and lead them over to the towers as best as we can. And maybe try to take out the archers and infantry. Because I did notice that when we started to take out their land forces, not their charioteers, the charioteers ran off a lot quicker. So we're going to try and utilise that tactic here. Now, I've got the next charioteer that comes from this will be... I'm not too sure because the guy's spawning sentries, which... it's fine. I don't mind that. I could try to give these guys water, but there's no point. So let's see if we can fight off the Hittites. It's going to be a strong invasion. Unfortunately, I do know that once during the battle we may be asked to send troops somewhere else. Is that another... that's another one? There we go. Okay, we'll have 4 3/4. So we'll try and lead these guys up to the walls and see how we do. I don't want to lose the palace. That's going to be a crying shame if that happens. In fact, let's get you guys over there. And have only one... actually, no, let's just come back here, please. Come back to here. Okay, here's the Hittite army. Let's see how we do. Okay, that battle sort of went okay, but unfortunately we lost the palace, which didn't actually help. I'll have to rebuild that very soon. Hopefully these guys will get out of here. There are a couple of chariots in there, I think they're just sort of doing a lot of damage, but we didn't do too badly. We didn't lose everyone. We did lose one full fort. I think that was actually the fort that didn't get fully developed, so that's okay. Now, I hope the towers will do something and get rid of these guys. I think they're starting to retreat now, which is good, but we got... Well, I don't think we got completely wiped out, but that was close to problematic. So hopefully, never started to it, but at least we got tower backup, which is helping. There's another enemy charioteer. They're all leaving. That's good. There's one that's completely panicked. I think that's this one here. Yep. Let's just send all these guys back. If they're going to go back, there we go. Because they're stuck in a bit of combat here, they are not doing anything, which is unfortunate. And there goes that guy there, he's leaving. Okay, these guys will eventually get killed off. There we go. Towers are helping. That's the main thing. So we didn't do too badly. And are we being attacked still? Some are still here, but that's not very useful. Come on, can you just go back to base? This one doesn't seem to want to go back to base, because they're still fighting, I think. I think we're done now. There we go. Finally. We did lose a few, but that's okay. We didn't do too badly. So let's just try to rebuild our forces. I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. Well, that's not very fair. Alert your soldiers, for the Egyptian army is engaged in combat at the distant city of Gaza and requires you to dispatch reinforcements there. Send troops to their aid in 3 months. We've just been attacked. We've just got attacked. And now, if you had obviously lost everything, there is no chance in heck that you'll be able to do this. And failing this request results in another attack. So you get sort of double whammied by the Hittites here. Now we do have enough troops, so I'm going to let this run for a bit, see if we can stockpile as many troops as we can. It's only a small force, so I will send them off once a few more have recuperated, and I'll come back in if they succeed or not. In other news, I have set off the troops, as you gathered. We are now going to start selling linen. We're just about to go into debt, but Kadesh is going to save us by buying up linen. That's a great export. 2 traders will come through every so often, so that's going to be a good export. We're starting to make some decent money now. How much is the linen worth on this one? Just the usual 160. It looks as if copper and wood prices are actually worth more. And look at... We can sell weapons. I think we can sell weapons later for 360. The prices are quite high on these final missions. It's going to be quite profitable to export, I think. Not so much to export things like luxury goods, which is like nothing. I mean, the selling price between importing gems and selling luxury goods is worse than straw, which makes it completely pointless. All you're doing is going to be making your money back. But there we go, we're getting money. It's going to cover for the loss of earnings that we had from not having this down, but that's okay. I've also started to make some weapons just for stockpile. We don't really need them for anything other than, I think, selling. I don't think we're going to be... No. When chariots are here, the only forces we ever need is charioteers. So we'll rebuild this fort, put down the 6th and final charioteer company, and then just flesh out all of it. And we should be fine. I'll also try to build up our navy as well, just in case we get a sea attack. So we're past the difficult part, I would say, of the mission. We now just need to work on the goals and building up the city. Well, would you look at that? Our troops have helped win the day at Gaza, and we've conquered yet another city. We've conquered the city of Gaza and expanded our influence. Let's just have a look. As far as I know, Gaza doesn't open as a trade city, so this is just a case of story, I think. I don't actually know what that does. As far as I know, it doesn't open as a trade route, and there's not really any event that's tied to opening it. So I think it's just more of a story, history thing, rather than actually doing anything for the city. But meanwhile, we've got 3,000 people, we're halfway there. We have some unemployment issues. We are short by quite a number of employees, but we can sort that by evolving houses. We're going to evolve these into ordinary cottages. We can actually just increase tax rate a little bit. We've also changed the temples around. These guys are going to get Seth rather than Bast. And I think we just need to import pottery. I think we can import pottery from, let's see, no, not Abu. We can import that from Knossos. We'll trade with them, but we're not going to do that right now. We don't have the funds for that, but we are going to continue to export. We're not exporting there. We're not there. So that's fine. Those two will go through, and then this will build back up again. We've also gone ahead and put down a few more weavers just to try and keep this nice and stockpiled. I might move this dock down here, just more central rather than where it is. I'm not too sure yet. I'll think about it. But we're starting to really push the boundaries, start to expand our military. These are up to full. The next one's getting there. So we're going to have 6 full infantry. Charioteer companies, rather. So we're just going to keep on going. I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. We're now through the brunt of the invasions at the start of it anyway. Okay, so we get more troop requests. Alert your soldiers for the Egyptian army to engage in combat to the distant city of Icon. It requires you to dispatch reinforcements there. 13 months. What kind of forces? Average force in 12 months. So we are going to have enough forts for that. We just need to let them build up from the last attack. And they have troop requests to Gaza. I'm down here deleting some buildings. I want to move linen storage to here. And make this a flax acceptor right here, because this is a bit far for him. We'll just set this to empty now. I might move a dock down here. I might move the dock from there down to here so he's a bit closer, and just let them wander a bit further up there, which is fine. Now we are going to put down one of the small obelisks. I think there's not a good idea, so let's put one. Let's put it there. Let's put one there, and we can start to re-import granite again, which will be fine. So we'll start to empty out all of this. I'm going to actually delete this stock once all these guys are through. In fact, what we can do is just put in that there, which will be fine. let's just delete that bit of roadblock there, because this is such a short path anyway, it's not a big deal. We are going to move this dock and replace this with 2 warships, and then we'll just have all the dock stuff down here. It means that people going up here will go a bit further, but that's okay. We're actually going to set this one to accept. And this one can be get, and get. Okay, now I just realised that this block here, this line, wasn't taxed, but we've got them taxed now, which is going to help. We are showing quite a bit of employment, that's why I'm starting to import pottery. We're going to bring that here, and then start to get this block up a little bit. I will put down more shrines, I think, and potentially a bit of a... I'm not sure, but I'll put some statues. I'm going to add some additional yard. What was that? City request goods, 900 planks of wood. We've got that. We'll just send that off. So yeah, we'll just start to import pottery as well. Pardon me. In fact, I might turn this into a pottery acceptor right here. So I'll have the pottery accepted here for now, and then I will move that later. Let's just not fill any more pottery. We'll have gems and possibly just food types in here. I'll have grain and all that, because gems can be carted off. So I just need, basically when I've got a raw material that I need to deliver to a workshop, I prefer to fill it with inert goods, so goods that don't need to be moved. They're just goods that are just for storage. And a bazaar or something picks up, so that's fine. So what I'll do is I'll let this run a bit. I'll build up my forces a bit more. We've got 4 full forts. I'll wait until I get maybe a bit more in this one, and then we'll send them all off and hopefully defeat the battle at Icon. Okay, so here's another request. Roarty wants 11 chariots. Now it's a good thing that way over here we've been stockpiling these for God knows how long. So let's just send off the 11 chariots. We've got so much being produced that it's no longer a concern. Our military and all stuff up here is pretty much set in stone. We don't need to really expand that anymore. We don't need to do too much with it. We're also starting to produce we're starting to import the pottery from Knossos over here. Now I could wait a bit longer and get another trade route for it, but I know that that trade route also sells some other commodities we are going to need a lot of. I'm also just sorting out this bit down here. We're going to sell off all this linen, which is now getting nicely produced. And once I sold it all off, I will move this up so then we've got a bit more space to work with, because then that will work out a lot better. Let's see. 1, 2... Well, I can put in 4 more here and then we'll be fine. I didn't disconnect this area, did I? Because the way he's walking is if he wants to exit by... don't know. We're starting to make money because we're selling off the linen to Kadesh, which is our only export at the moment. Once we sell off more linen, we'll get that out of there. The troops are still away at Icon. We've got all chariots now. I could have waited a bit longer and then that would have been fine, but it's okay. We're going to have 6 full chariots, which is going to be perfectly fine. Once we start to get more workers in, let's just see, we have 64 unemployment. Let's just put down another warship there. And yes, so we're just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in once our troops are back from Icon. Okay, well there we go, we sent off 11 chariots to Roarty, and we can now trade with them. Let's just have a look at that. And there's going to be the money of the mission. We can sell 4,000 copper, given this it's really expensive to sell. That's a great export. We can also import pottery, beer, a little bit more flax, and some papyrus. Now because beer and papyrus can only be traded in such small amounts, we don't have Ra to boost trade quotas. We want to make sure that Roarty is not spending its time selling me pottery. That's why we have Knossos here. And a little bit of flax will go amiss, but I don't think we're going to have too much trouble with that. We're not importing meat, we're going to import additional grain to support some manor housing, which we can get enough of from there. So we're going to open you up and just sell off all the copper we have. We're going to have a getting yard. Just here, which we've got already. We're going to have a getting yard, bringing it all over here, which is going to be quite nice. Yeah, so our money's set. We're going to have our exports all set up. We can get more than enough flax from Abu, and it's not going to be a concern. Unfortunately, because they're going to be selling us granite as well, it may slow down a bit, but it's okay. Excuse me, pardon me. Let's just have a look at not Icon. Kadesh is reset, that's fine. One of you is going to buy up some linen, which is not too bad, but we should be fine. In fact, I might turn off flax imports just for a little bit, but we'll see. So yeah, we got the money of the mission. I've also set up some more storage yards down here just to bring granite, because we're going to need a lot of granite. We need 200, I think, kingdom rating boost, because we'll put up Roarte. That's good. Kingdom rating's getting there, so we're not going to need to worry too much about this. This will go up over the various requests and the like. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going. Our money's going to be sorted, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. And there we go, our troops have helped win the day at Icon, and we've now conquered them, so we're starting to push our borders, get back the territory that we had in the Middle Kingdom, which is good. We're also building this small obelisk right here. We had a bit of a dock issue. One of the traders from Abu was stuck here, but that's okay. I did build this one just to try and clear that, but I don't think it's worked out very well, but that's not a problem. Once Roarty's finished here, we'll be fine. Money's going right up, which is perfect. Mostly exports and gold mining and the like. Taxes are also helping a bit as well. I'm going to have to import some beer, which I'm going to import up here somewhere. I think what I'll do is I'll import all the granite, do the monuments, and then I'll think about beer imports. Because we can still get, I mean, we've still got quite a bit of unemployment. We haven't evolved one of the blocks yet. Let's just make sure all these bazaars are not buying beer, because we don't want that. Because we don't want them all to go for a swarm for it, because that'll not be too good. So yeah, we're pushing the border, starting to retake all of the land that we lost to the Nubians, and the north as well, retaking other places as well. So yeah, we're going to keep on going. I'll come back in if any more troop requests happen, and there's another kingdom rating boost as well. Okay, I just missed this. I just was right-clicking through everything, just trying to get the ships sorted because it's a mess. Our money's apparently gone way up to 35,000, I never even noticed. But we do have a Bedouin army attacking in 6 months. They're going to be very easy to take down, given that the Hittites are quite strong. Most of my problems have been just trying to sort out the docks. I put down a second dock. Now this ends up triggering a bit of a bug where some of these ships will get stuck in, anchored, waiting for free dock, and they never move, and then they just sit there. And that completely stuffs up trade when that happens. Because then I can't do anything, because they just sit there waiting for something that never happens. So taking a bit of playing around, trying to get them to get out of here, which has helped. We can actually just set all these back up to export again, now that they're sorted. Let's just import the 1200 flax and the pottery. We'll just set this to maintain 1 full yard now. I mean, our profits are off the roof. We make like 20,000 a year. Obviously that income's gone up because we stopped importing for a little while, but that's okay. So yeah, we've got Bedouins attacking. We've got like 6 full charioteers. This is actually the most powerful force you can have on land, so we're actually going to be quite fine. And so I'll come back in once we are going to be attacked by the Bedouins. Okay, that Bedouin army is going to be here in 1 month bent on conquest. I'm just sorting out a little bit here. Let's just delete that and put down an additional Bast temple. Now I could put down the temple complex. I don't have the workers for that though, and that's what I'm setting up over here. Let's just make sure we don't have a complete collapse of the city here. We're not going to feed them just yet. We're just going to get them sorted. Once we've got it all sorted, I will sort them out. I'm not too sure if this is too far for the pottery. If it is, I will just move that over to the other side of the double obelisk. And they should still be within range even there, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We're going to continue to import the granite again. We do need, what is it, 200 blocks for the large one. That's not a problem. Not sure where I'm going to put this last one. I might just put it there, actually. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this, but I will put it somewhere that just looks good. So yeah, Bedouin attacks incoming. We just need to wait for it to be called, really. We are going to evolve all these, don't worry. We're going to get us up to common residences as best as we can. Here's that Bedouin attack. Let's see how we do. Not too difficult that battle, was it? We didn't lose really anyone, I think. I just used engage nearby enemies, which was easiest. We'll just send everyone back. I mean, they're all veterans, which is all quite nice. I think one of them was a masters, but I think they might have... Oh look, there we go, we've got some elites. Very quickly, we've got some chariot elites in this city. We've also got another group of masters building up, which is even better. So we could just do some more little battles like that. It'll be fine for our armies, and we'll be able to fight off the Hyksos a lot more easily, I think. Copper is a little bit hard to get here, but we might I might set up another yard to get copper so that we're not sort of causing any issues. Probably going to just delete this well because it's not going to really make any difference. And if I, you know, it's just going to devolve the house again. It's not a big deal. So yeah, that battle went not too bad. Once we sold off the remainder of this linen, I will move this yard over like I've been wanting to do for a while, and then we will build the final obelisk somewhere. I'm not too sure where, but we'll find a place that looks good for it. Probably over here. I'm not too sure. Light there would be nice, but I think that's a bit in the way. But we'll see. We'll just keep on going, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. Okay, more troop requests. Alert your soldiers for the Egyptian armies engaged in combat at the distant city of Het and requires you to dispatch reinforcements there. Troops in 14 months. I think we have like a full complement to deal with an average force. And I do know that we're not going to get attacked while we're away. So we'll just send off everyone and then we'll be completely victorious. What we're also doing is we're going to start keeping the gods happy. We do need a few more shrines to Bast. She's a little bit apathetic with us, so let's just keep her happy with more shrines all around the city. Let's see if we can find some places to put these shrines. We'll just put them anywhere we can. Let's all do a shrine wall there. Let's just spam some generic shrines. And we should have 24, so that's not too bad. And then in other spaces we can just put down a few additional ones to the other gods. Make sure they're nice and happy. Let's just do alternating ones along here, because we're not going to need too many more buildings. Let's just see. 21. Let's just do 22. There we go. Seth. And then you can fill up the spaces like so. So that should be 22 each. There we go. They should all be nice and happy. I could also just put down a festival square somewhere in the city. I'm not too sure where, because the city is pretty much connected, and I don't like doing too much with a connected city. So let's see, 1, 2, intersection needs to be there. So we could just put down a festival square right there. They will walk to it, which is unfortunate, but we can just hold a festival to Seth, keep everyone nice and happy. So, yeah, we're still continuing to send off troops at wherever. Still sell off little bits of copper. I don't think we're actually able to max out, I think. Over the course of a year we can max out, so it's not too bad. Even if they're taking a while to do it. So yeah, we're going to just let our troops go back, head off to Het and be victorious. We're also going to start importing beer and stockpiling it for a little while so we can do a pretty rapid evolution, because we are going to need a lot of people to support some manors in this city. And yeah, we're just going to keep on going. I'll come back in later if anything of interest happens. And there we go, we conquered Het, so we've regained all of our lost territory, so that's good. How many troops have we lost? No one. Oh wait, that's what happened. I held a festival to Seth and he blessed them, and it seems as if even though the troops were out of the city when this happened, they were still affected. So our troops, none of them died, so that's actually quite useful to know. So you can get a blessing from Seth if it's that I'll protect soldiers, anyone else in battle or out of the city. It still has an effect even if they've left the city. I always used to think that this had to happen before they left, otherwise it had no benefit, but apparently that's not the case. We've got some beer into one of these blocks. I'm putting down a Bast temple in every one of the blocks, because we have put down this Bast temple complex, and just it being placed means that the goods that they consume is slower. Because we have a limitation on how much beer we can get, only 2,500 a year, I don't want them to drain the supply really quickly. We have 4,500. We are not getting too much unemployment. Once we evolve all of this, we should be fine. Let's just so these houses have run out of pottery. I might bring some pottery beer just up here just to make sure that there is enough. Let's just set this to import to maintain. Not such a puny amount. Let's set this to import to maintain 4,800. We should have enough beer because it's not being used too much. Because Het has been subjugated, we can trade there. Let's have a look at that city. 1825 D-bits is a lot, but they sell as gems and jewellery. We can get at least that. We can already import gems from Abu anyway. But they do buy weapons, linen, wood and copper. That is a lot of commodities that we can sell. Let's just go ahead and sell some very expensive items. Let's just sell all weapons, all wood. And they're already buying copper, wood. So that's a lot of commodities. The things they can buy are things we can make. So that's going to help a lot. We are going to have to boost linen production, I think. Let's just increase the number of weavers we have. There we go. And then we can put a little booth in there. So that's all the weavers we're ever going to need. Don't think we're going to need too much more. Let's just increase this to 2,000. Just make sure there's enough stockpile. So all that's going to sit there. That's going to be quite nice. Looks at this block. Did I look at this block portrait? Oh no, I didn't. Okay, never mind. It's also unlocked chickpeas as a food type, which we don't want in any of these housing blocks at all, because there's no point. We're going to feed that grain. I'm not too sure if I'm going to feed grain or not, but we'll see. We are still waiting very slowly to get all the granite we need. I might knock out a warship and put down a second dock somewhere. I might even delete this shipwright just to speed up things. There's our kingdom rating up. We're already met the kingdom rating goal without actually doing anything. We haven't sent off any gifts or anything. We have got the prosperity. Population's not too much of a problem, because once we evolve all of these up into common residences, that will be basically 6,000 plus our manors area over here, which I'm going to have to go and set up at some point. So yeah, we're pretty much through all of the troop requests. There's not going to be any more trade cities opening. And now we can just work on the goals. If any attacks come in, get warned about, I'll come back in and show you to them. But for now, I'm just going to speed through the city and try to meet the goals. Okay, so I was just checking trade stuff. We have sold out 15 weapons, 2,500 wood and 1,500 copper to He. And just have a look at the profit we're making. Nearly 24,000 in exports. I don't really need gold mining anymore, because we have pretty much sorted out our finances. So I am cutting back on gold mines, starting to replace them with some copper mines, really start to flood the system. Because we can sell so much copper, so many weapons, it's actually a little ridiculous. So we don't really need to worry too much about gold mining anymore, because our profits are off the charts, basically. Now, in terms of granite, we are starting to fill out these three, which means I can now start to worry about getting these working. We are here for quite a while, which is unfortunate. There are enemies closing, apparently. So we'll find out more about that shortly. If I expand our linen production a little bit too much, maybe, because some of them are empty, but we are producing enough linen to keep ourselves going. We might actually just want to set this to make sure we're only buying one over 2,000, because we are going to need to start using linen in the city. We're not going to use linen in these houses. There's only going to be for mortuaries, because we are going to need to put down a few of those. The only houses that are going to accept and take linen are our manors up here, which we're going to work on once the invasion's passed. I might do some preparation before the invasion happens as well. We'll just delete some of this road, actually. Hittite army in 6 months, not too good, but we can sort that very easily. I think it's a naval attack, but we don't have much space to maneuver, but we have enough warships, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. So yeah, I'll just come back in once we're near that Hittite invasion, whatever it is. Okay, so we've got our manors area nicely set up here. We're going to have just as many as we can. I'm probably going to go for 8. But we'll see how that does. I've misdone this alignment again, but it's not a big deal. It really doesn't matter. I can put down the Senate House at one end like there, and it'll be fine. Anyway, Hittite army is going to be here in 1 month. I can also put it here and then just delete some statues and then have a couple of larger ones, but that's fine. So we've got 80,000 out of nowhere. I think most of that's exports, yeah. A lot of that's exports. We haven't really exported a lot. We've exported 1,100 copper to Roarte, not a lot. Nothing to Abu, obviously. We sold weapons and wood to He, which is pretty much covering us. So I've got my warships in place because I think I know where this attack comes from, but I don't want to be caught out. Over here we're going to have some more fishing boats. We are going to need them because this guy keeps complaining that there's not enough food in the city for some reason. But we will set up some additional food areas. Employees needed apparently, but that means we just need to evolve housing, I think. Let's just set this up to buy beer, get another line up. And once we've got all the granite sorted, we will start to we'll start to get rid of some of these yards and all that. That'll help quite a bit. Anyway, foreign army invades. Let's find out what kind it is and deal with it. Okay, so we're pretty much through that invasion. That required an intense amount of micromanagement to avoid any deaths. I'd rather not lose too many ships to these guys because, of course, as you've probably noticed, these guys like to attack by fishing boats, which then causes the shipwright to spend a lot of time rebuilding ship boats, fishing boats rather. And I'd rather not have to replace these, because this will take forever to rebuild if the shipwright is spending its time building little fishing boats. That requires some micromanagement, but we're okay. I hope. Let's just put down a well there. Plaza up all of this. And yeah, so we'll get these guys repaired. Rebuild our fishing fleet. At least we've got like 2 full granaries of food and a bit of stuff in a yard. So we're not going to be too problematic there. How's our granite import doing? We're not getting granite here, which is not very useful. Let's just set these to go and get granite. And yeah, so that was pretty much the big sea attack of Byblos. It occurs every so often, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So yeah, we're going to keep on going, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens, probably when we've got some stately manners. Okay, looks as if some prices are going up. The price of planks and wood has, apparently the supplies have dropped. I'm not sure how, but never mind. The price of wood has gone up by 8 demons. Let's just have a look at that. It's just now 213 to export. It's not a big jump, really, to be honest. Anyway, we are almost about to have enough granite. I've deleted one of the warships that was quite damaged and replaced it with... are you doing your disappearing act again? No, you're finally behaving. Okay, whatever. But we are, I put down a second dock just to try and speed up trade a bit. It was a bit low, and we're also running out of beer, and that's because Roarte is spending most of its time selling me flax and things I don't want. So I'm trying to get it to speed through some of its things so that we're not importing things we don't require. Things like pottery, we don't need that. We can get enough pottery from Knossos. And papyrus, we're only importing small amounts. We are starting to get some houses up into common residences. We just desperately need workers, which is why I'm doing it. Because we're short like 118 for some reason. But I think we should be fine once we start to cut back on some industries we don't need. So we should be fine. Things like gold mines, which we don't even need anymore. So let's just delete every one of them. Just delete all these gold mines. Also turned off chariot production. We didn't need that anymore either. So that's helped us save some workers by deleting all those gold mines. We could just replace that with a copper mine. Because we are low on copper actually, so should boost that. Pardon me. I think we're almost about to have enough granite, but we'll just yeah, let's just keep that importing actually. Let's just make sure we're importing all of that. So once we've got that, we'll be able to put down the large obelisk somewhere. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this. Too close to that is not really nice. I'll put it here. I'll put it up at the back here and then it'll look quite nice. And I can put up a separate little bit of stonemasons and that up here. So we can actually just find the originals. Where are they? Here, we can delete them. And we will put in other stuff. We are starting to take up culture. We do need a mortuary down here in some of these blocks, but we can work on that later once we've got everything stockpiled. Unfortunately, you've spawned in a weird area, except that's not a problem. So you'll go get pottery, and I think you have. Yes, you've got. So these are going to start evolving into nice little fancy residences. There's also some linen up here, which I've just got, which is going to help. Hopefully not going to be bought from there, but that's okay. So we started to import some papyrus, maybe we start to get more beer in, I'm not too sure. But once we stop importing granite, we'll be fine. So let's stop importing that for a little while just to empty this a bit. And yeah, so we'll just keep on going. I'll just develop my miners area, start to evolve the house and get these up to the right levels. Sort out our unemployment issues, which are being solved, which is good. Got another 110 people willing to come in, which is good. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going and we'll come back in if anything of interest happens. Okay, so we're doing a bit of a rush to finish this mission, and we've just been told in 18 months we are going to be attacked by another Hittite army. Now, we do have nearly 6,000 people, so we could finish before this happens. So let's just have a run over to say, I've put down another little common block up here, mostly for workers at this point, because we are short so many people, and these houses also devolve. The manor housing isn't actually important because we have like 40 as our requirement, so it's not a big deal. We could just put down mortuaries in various blocks now at this point to try and get that going. Let's just stop exports of linen now. We don't need to do that. Let's just put down a mortuary and a mortuary. As long as we've got most of them accessing a mortuary, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem, so we'll just set that up. We'll stop exports of linen for now. Let's just check our goals. We're fine. The monument's also down. It's up here. We'll just speed this up. That needs more mortuaries. It just needs these guys to get linen delivered to them and they'll be fine. 55, so we just need a little bit more culture. We're going to hit our what is it? Population target very shortly, which is good. There we go, we've got 6,000. This is if the papyrus has started to go back in there. Hopefully this doesn't go up too much. If it starts to go up a little bit higher, we'll start to cut back on houses, but that's not a problem. So yeah, we're just rushing to the end here, and hopefully we can finish before we get attacked by the Hittites once more. Okay, so just to kind of run down on the city, we do have the culture, prosperity, and kingdom rating. We've also got the population, and probably getting a little out of control. We did have a bit of a crime problem up here as well. At this point, I'm just hoping that we can finish within a couple of months. Unfortunately, the stonemasons are taking their sweet ass time to do their thing, so I hope we can win. What's our beer situation like? It's actually terrible. I don't know why this mission is so bad with getting beer. I think it's just because Roarty is set up to import so many other items that we can't get enough. So we're just going to have to hope that the city stays stable. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to turn off beer in a couple of these ones. Let's see which one's got. Right, these three can stay with beer. You can stay with beer. You've got enough. These aren't going to buy anything other. So at this point, I'm just going to have to hope that we can finish before we get attacked. So let's just do a quick speed through. And we started down here with our housing block, but we also started off with pretty much our military industry. Getting that going allowed us to get through most of the attacks. I just hope the stonemasons can finish their job quickly. Come on. Abu wants 700 planks of wood. This is quite a late request, but never mind. No, we're going to be attacked. So let's see, is it a sea attack or is it a land attack? If it's a land attack, we could probably just kite them around the map until we finish. If it's a sea attack, we're going to be a little screwed because we still have 2 docks. Not a 6th warship, which is not going to be useful. You know, let's just get our warships in position just in case. And, where's the 5th one there? Let's put you there. And set up our warships just over here. Now, if it's a land attack, that's not going to be too bad. As long as it doesn't attack from somewhere stupid like down here. Because if it does that, that's going to set us back and hopefully we'll be able to get through. I'm going to actually just move a few down here. Where is it from? It's over there, okay. So we'll just speed through this as quickly as we can. And I'll come back in once the monument's complete. Okay, the monument's almost done, so we have a huge attack of chariots here, which is not too good. We're just going to have to hope that we can hold them off as long as we can. It's a good thing we're finishing now and not in however many years, because this would be rather problematic, I have to admit. So let's just get you guys over there. I mean, that's huge, the amount of chariots they've got. It's insane how many they have. I mean, it's a good thing I'm not actually trying to engage these guys directly and just sort of kite them around the map. Come on, get out of the way. Well, they're going to probably die, which is not too good, but let's just move you out of the way. I'm going to just do this slowly because there isn't really any point in trying to fight these guys. In all essence, I don't think there's much reason to try and fight them. Just, move out of the way. In fact, if we could just sort of run these chariots up here, that would be actually very useful because then I could just use my, you know, just screw it, just charge in. I don't care if you all die. Just go in. Just attack directly, just go in. The monument's almost done anyway, so we should win while this happens, so yeah, I know we're going to probably get slaughtered here by the Hittites, but it doesn't matter. Pardon me. The monument's almost complete as our goals set. They're all set. Just stay strong, guys, while we sort of... There's some soldiers running off, which is good. Obelisk is done. The obelisk is done while we're being attacked, which is interesting, but let's just send everyone back. And yeah, we won. So there's our 3 obelisks. Looks so nice. And we do this while we're being attacked. It's great. Victory. While we're being attacked by the Hyksos, no, the Hittites. That was a rather strong invasion. It's a good thing I'm finishing now and not in however many years. Let us proceed.
All-powerful Pharaoh. By turning back the Hittites, Egypt has grown into a mighty empire. Your sword has given the gift of Egyptian civilization to the world.
Indeed it has. Our sword has given the gift of Egyptian civilization to the world. It's a good thing we were finishing just there before any more large attacks. I think they started to get really out of control after a while, but we didn't do too badly. Culture 60, we held it all together while we were being attacked, built those obelisks. Took a bit longer than I would have liked, but that's okay. So that's Byblos. So the next mission after choosing Byblos is going to be Roarty. If you're interested in looking at the peaceful aspect, they'll click on the left-hand card to go to Baki. I know I put that in the thingy, but it doesn't matter. But if you want to head on to Roarty, click on the right-hand card and it'll conclude the military pathway. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part, guys. Bye now.